She didn't ruin your life, you did. I was having a conversation with this guy the other day, and he was speaking about how his girlfriend, who he broke up with, of course, so should say his ex, ruined his life. What she put him through, the way she treated him, others around him, everything that was wrong in his life at that current point in time was her fault. And although I couldn't relate to his current scenario that he was telling me about, it's a story that everyone loves to tell. Instead of looking yourself in the mirror, you often blame other people, you blame other things, and you outsource that accountability to avoid the difficult conversations with yourself. I mean, hey, I'd much rather blame one of you guys for anything before I blame myself, because once again, it's convenient. And the more I spoke to this guy, the more I could see a bit of me in him. He had let this person become his excuse as to why he couldn't do things, and gradually over time, he saw other things slip in his life. I used to see him at the gym, he stopped coming gym. I used to see him at work, he didn't come work for a few days and then he got fired. I used to see him out and about because he lives quite close to me, and I stopped seeing him. So slowly but surely things started to fall off, and I had a conversation with him. I was like, yo, what happened, man? And he told me that he hasn't really been outside much and he's just been in his room thinking about things and trying to figure himself out. And of course, I've never experienced anything on that degree, but I've experienced something similar, something where I could play the victim card, something where I could blame other people. I remember there was this time where I actually got an interview for a bank and I was running pretty late to the interview. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, everything I need to do in the morning is going to be done, and I'll have plenty of time to get to the interview. And then my alarm wakes me up late, and then I'm rushing, and then I'm trying to call an Uber, and nothing is quite working out for me. So I texted one of my friends who happens to be within the area, and he came, but he came later than expected. And of course, we got there in the end, and I was about 10 minutes late to the interview, and the interviewer said, okay, you just made it in time. And of course, you know how interviewers are. They're nice, they're friendly, they're best at lying, by the way, because 10 minutes is pretty damn late to an interview. But I did the interview nevertheless, and I waited a few days to receive, of course, information in regards to how I did and if I got the job. And I didn't get the job, and constructive feedback from the interview was punctuality. I was late, and that was the first thing they look for, punctuality. So instead of looking to myself, I blamed my friend for being late, because in my head, I'd explained to him how serious the situation was, how much I needed this job, and he couldn't get there on time. So somehow, me waking up late and me not making it there on time, despite it being peak hours of traffic, it was all his fault. And for a while, it felt like this experience was controlling my life. It was dictating the way I went about my day to day. The same way that guy who, of course, lost his girlfriend and his girlfriend, quote unquote, ruined his life, she was directing it from a distance. If you are constantly outsourcing responsibility to external things, then you have no real control over your life. And I suppose the benefits of that is that you don't have to grow and you don't have to change. So you get to live in this bubble for the rest of your life and replay the past like it's still happening. Something that victims don't like to hear is that they're not really that special and they're not that unique either. Everyone, me, you who's watching this, your parents, your friends, your family, we all have trauma. Some people accept that, they face it, they move forward. Others act as if it were their destiny. They cling to it as if it were an identity. My story, my trauma, my loss. They repeat it so many times, it becomes a part of who they are. Everyone has the ability to move on. They just refuse because, once again, being a victim is so much easier than rebuilding, taking control of your life. Because once you start this process, You've accepted the fact that most things, if not all things that have happened in your life, have been within your control, and that change isn't welcomed by everybody because it can be a scary thing. But as I've just said, once you finally do get over that fear and welcome that change, accountability, that's the final step. So now you admit that you're accountable and you're responsible for all of your previous actions. You now move forward. You don't dwell, you don't continually blame yourself. You move forward and take full responsibility for the way you move. For example, I could have blamed myself day in, day out for the job interview that I missed. I outsourced that responsibility for a while. Then I blamed myself and I told myself, okay, look, it's happened now. You apply a degree of stoicism. It's happened now. I'm going to move forward. Just because I had one moment of incompetence does not make me an incompetent person, full stop. That is how you talk to yourself. You don't tell yourself that it was their fault and that I'm an incompetent person, this, that, and the other. I always say you are your own best friend, so make sure you hold yourself in a high regard. Each and every single time you repeat these negative thoughts to yourself, you're reinforcing the thought. So it becomes a part of who you are. Like I said earlier, you don't want that for yourself. You are your own best friend. So you need a certain type of structure, a structure that will keep you rooted. When I missed that job interview, I decided it's never going to happen ever again. One thing that I've done throughout my entire life is work out. So I said I'll work out this time, in this way, and for this long. And that just became a continual thing throughout the week. And I saw my life improve drastically because I started taking myself a whole lot more seriously when I started taking responsibility and accountability. Every session that I got through was proof that I wasn't powerless, and that gave me a great confidence boost. I'd say another thing that people do and where they go wrong is they romanticize pain. A lot of people, they love to sit in sadness. I can never understand why, as if it gives them some kind of depth, as if there was some kind of complex anime character or comic book character. It doesn't make you interesting. Not to yourself and certainly not to other people, because chances are people have seen people exactly like you. I keep telling you guys, you're not special when it comes to trauma outside of extreme circumstances. Suffering in silence will never give you a layer of depth, and it'll never give you a layer of clarity. It doesn't make you interesting. All it does is keep you stagnant, and stagnant is not where you want to be. If you keep on replaying the past, you'll never be able to move forward. And that's something that I want for you guys. Something I want for you guys is to adopt the Kaizen philosophy, take whatever it is that's happened, use it to fuel you, and focus on getting 1% better each and every single day. That's the message here. So if you have made it this far to the video, you can either spend all of these years to come thinking about what someone or something did to you, or you can start your rebuilding process. You can start working on yourself, building yourself towards something that actually matters. Something I wrote down in my journal was, I feel like victims wait for healing, whereas builders will build it. So you can create that experience for yourself, or you can be waiting forever. You have one of two options. That girl that you may have spoken to, she probably didn't ruin your life. You just gave her that power. And so long as you outsource that power, you'll never fully have control over your life. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. I hope this video has served you as a good reminder to start taking accountability for a whole lot more, because if you don't, then your life will remain stagnant. It will. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, share it to a friend or family member who you think may need to see and hear this video. If you guys want to join a community full of like-minded people on the path of self-development, then I'll leave a link down below in the description as well as the comment section. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and God bless.